welcome our dear listeners and viewers to yet another episode on this program, Pilgrim of Hope. On today's program, we have a topic on the table which states, love, the root of hope, the love of Christ and our response. On today's program, I am not your only presenter. I also have my co-host, Mr. Stephen, who is going to be with us on this program. We also have a special guest on this program who's going to help us discuss the topic of the day. Mr. Stephen, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much. It's good to be here.
Well, thank you so much. On this program, we actually have Father Arthur, who is going to help us discuss the topic of the day. Father, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much, Grace.
You're welcome, Father, to the program. It is indeed a beautiful, beautiful day. Actually, today, it is the last day of 2024. It is.
I think so.
Yeah, we're on remaining with
Hours.
few hours. Yeah, hours to actually say goodbye to 2024. Actually, yes. On today's program, our dear listeners and viewers, we are no longer preparing for the Jubilee because we are actually journeying together in this journey because the inauguration of the Jubilee 2025 had already been officially inaugurated on the 29th of December, when our bishops, even in LUSAKA, actually in Zambia, they also participated in this inauguration, as they also did the same ritual that actually was done in Rome by our Pope. Father, not to waste so much time, I'm sure our viewers and listeners are actually eager to hear what today's topic is about and what you have in stock for us. So, just to start, Father, how did the inauguration go? And tell us what the inauguration is, actually, what it means when we say the inauguration of the Jubilee 2025. What does that mean, Father?
Well, the inauguration is basically the beginning, the start, the official start of the Jubilee 2025. In fact, officially, it started on the eve of Christmas, on the 24th of December, when the Pope opened the holy doors of the Basilica of St. Peter in the Vatican. Now, on the 29th of December, he went to open the holy doors of his cathedral. You see, St. Peter's Basilica in the Vatican is not the official cathedral of the Pope, because the Pope is the Bishop of Rome. So as Bishop of Rome, his cathedral is actually outside the Vatican. It is St. John Lateran Basilica. So on the 29th, he went to open the holy doors of his cathedral, and it was expected that in all the dioceses around the world, the same activity was going to be done. And sure enough, here in Zambia, some dioceses already participated, already did the inauguration. I can cite LUSAKA. LUSAKA had the inauguration on the 29th. Also Umpika. Which other diocese did the inauguration?
Monze.
Monze
diocese.
I'm not very sure about Monze.
Monze they actually did.
Maybe they did. I think But Ndola is having the inauguration next week. I think the 11th of January.
Okay.
Then Kabwe a week after. It should be 22nd of January. So anyway, some dioceses have already done the inauguration. They've already started the Jubilee. Other dioceses, of course, for pastoral reasons and logistical issues. Even in Mansa, yes, Mansa did the inauguration. So some have done, others have not yet done, are yet to do. I think the majority of the remaining ones will do in January. So yeah. So the Jubilee year has started, the year of hope. And like we said last week, what this basically is about is to bring back the hope that humanity has lost due to things that have happened in the past and things that are happening even now. So the Pope thought it would be right to reflect on bringing back hope. You know, hope is the last thing to lose, and once you lose hope, you lose yourself as well. You have basically lost everything. So it's important for us to reflect on the theme of hope the whole of 2025, so that we don't become a miserable humanity, or we don't start existing for no reason because of things that have happened, but we should exist for a reason, and I think that is what God desires of us. So yeah, so the inauguration basically is the beginning, and the year has started.
Father, just follow up on that one. How can an individual, at an individual level, live with hope practically in our lives with all these challenges?
It's very difficult. It depends on one's strength or one's status of faith. There are people that are strong enough to actually live with hope in the midst of challenges. Others are not that strong. They easily lose their hope, and that's where you see people going to places or things or engaging themselves in activities that may seemingly give them some solutions to the problems that they're going through, but actually are just destroying them. When somebody loses hope, you see them maybe turning to the bottle. You see them getting depressed, you know, where they isolate themselves even. So a lot of things happen. Now, when one is going through things, you know, but terrible experiences, it is important, first of all, I think I must have mentioned this last week, that they do not isolate themselves. When you want to be a hopeful human being in the midst of challenges, do not isolate yourself from the church, do not isolate yourself from your friends, from people. Don't live like you exist alone, because you are worsening the damage. You are already in a very vulnerable, you know, kind of condition. So when you isolate yourself, you are worsening things. What you need to do is to attach yourself, and you know, within your circles, you should be able to know who can help you and who cannot help you, because it's not everyone within your circles who can be helpful. Others are actually happy that you are passing through that terrible experience. So attach yourself, or continue relating with somebody you feel deep down your heart that this one can be helpful. Yeah, and that is the person that is going to help you hold on to your hope, even when you're passing through that. The other thing that one can do is to identify themselves with a church, with a Christian community, because the church or the Christian community is taken as a fountain of hope. That is where people go hoping to get hope. Yeah, they go to a Christian community so that they get help, you know. And a Christian community is supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be a place where people come to and they go back home feeling relieved, you know, feeling helped. Even though sometimes if you tend to be now,
you go home worse than you.
Yeah, you know, you go to a Christian community and you feel more judged by the Christian community than by the world. So you feel you're better off being in the world than in the Christian community. But anyway, those are human elements that you find in the church or in the Christian community. But that does not take away anything from the fact that you need to identify yourself with a Christian community or with a support group of some kind, so that you hopefully get the help that you need. Because just alone in that terrible experience, you're not enough to stand the pressure. You are vulnerable already. And so if you tell yourself, I can handle this alone, I can do this on my own, the next thing we're going to hear is that one, so don't isolate yourself.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Well put, Father. Okay, now I think we can now delve now into the topic for today.
Wow. So our dear viewers and listeners, if you are just joining us, today's topic is love, the root of hope. the love of Christ and our response. Looking at today's topic, okay, I'm really like, today's topic is really giving me that vibe to say I should listen more, because I feel there are certain areas in my personal life that really needs hope right now. Father, how does love become the root of hope?
You know, love becoming the root of hope is actually a very important theme in the book, in the document that the Pope has given us. You know, hope does not disappoint.
Spes non confundit.
Exactly, you have learned it very well. Spes non confundit. Yeah, hope does not disappoint. So love as the source of hope is a very important theme, and it comes out quite often, because there's something I think the Holy Father is trying to communicate to humanity through this document on this theme. He makes recourse to what Jesus does on the cross. You know, that everything that Jesus is doing on the cross is out of love for humanity. Because the understanding is that before Jesus dies on the cross, humanity has lost hope. Remember, in the Old Testament, the Israelites were promised a Messiah, okay? And they were constantly looking forward to this Messiah. Why? Because they were living under a yoke of something. They were in some kind of bondage. And so when they were looking forward to this Messiah, their hope was that this Messiah was coming to redeem them from the bondage that they were under. They were under the Roman rule. So they felt maybe the Romans were not very good leaders, you know. They were being overtaxed and so many other things. So they didn't feel like a free nation as the Jews, as Israelites, living under the Roman rule. So they were constantly looking forward to a Messiah, somebody that is going to give them political freedom. So when the prophets started talking about the coming of a Messiah, the people thought this Messiah would be a political leader, would be somebody to come and give them that political freedom. But then when the Messiah comes finally, they realize that this is not the kind of Messiah that we've been waiting for. This is not the one. Yeah. So exactly. So see what happens when Jesus is entering Jerusalem as king. And people are very happy. Finally a king has come to give us this freedom that we've been looking forward to. And when Jesus enters finally Jerusalem, they realize that he's not even marching to the palace to overthrow the exactly. Then from singing him songs of praise, they begin to shout, crucify him, because this is the wrong one. This is not the kind of king that. What the people do not understand is the type of kingship that Jesus brings, that Jesus has. At his trial, standing before Pilate, he's asked, "Are you the king of the Jews?" You know, what does he say? My kingship is not of this earth, because if it was of this earth, all these people would have risen to fight for me. But my kingship is of the kingdom of God. The people are even more disappointed. How do you respond like that? You're supposed to be our king, but your kingship is of the kingdom of God. No, your kingship is supposed to be an earthly kingship. So people feel, but anyway, everything is summed up on the cross. When Jesus hangs on the cross and exclaims, "It is finished," it means that everything that he has been doing, pointing to the liberation of humanity from the yoke of sin, from the yoke of suffering, has come to fruition, has reached completion. It is finished. And it is from the cross that hope is born for humanity. When Jesus is still hanging on the cross and he's dead, and there is the disciple at the foot of the cross, John, and the mother to Jesus. Before Jesus dies, he says to his mother, "Woman, behold your son," and he says to John, "Son, behold your mother." At that scenario, Jesus has given has reanimated humanity. Okay, in what sense? John is representing humanity, and Mary is the mother to humanity in that sense. And so he has given, you see, it's like at Panganda, mothers, there's something that mothers have which you will not see in fathers. Yeah, even just the atmosphere. When you are my Panganda, the presence, you know, the atmosphere is so nice. But the other way, when there is just the father, it's not a very peaceful environment, you know. So humanity is given to Mary as mother, so that through Mary, humanity can feel the love that Jesus expresses on the cross, through the action of the cross. That through Mary, humanity can feel that motherly care. And that in itself is a reanimation of hope in humanity. Not only that, Jesus, when he dies, he finally dies, there's a soldier that comes and pierces a lance on his side. And what gushes out of his side? Water and blood. And that gushes out to the earth. And that in itself is symbolic of Jesus giving life back to humanity, back to the earth. So when we talk about love as the fountain or the foundation of hope, what we have in mind is what Jesus does on the cross. And what he does on the cross is, first of all, he dies for humanity. But not only that, he gives life back to humanity so that humanity can have a reason to live again, to exist again. And this can also be understood at a personal level. That I might have been through a lot of things that could be challenging in my life, but that does not take away anything from the fact that Jesus has given me life. Jesus has given me another opportunity to live again. It's up to me to grab that opportunity and to make it my strength, my pillar, so that nothing crushes me. So love will always be the foundation of hope. Our mind should be fixed on the cross for us to understand that aspect.
So, Father, if us don't have love in us ourselves, then it becomes difficult to be a hopeful generation.
Yeah, actually it does. You see, when Jesus dies on the cross, he's also giving an example to us that we are, in our relationships, there has to be an aspect of sacrifice. And sacrifice in itself is a very deep expression of love towards the other. If you cannot express love towards the other in that sense, you cannot as well transmit hope to the other. Because when you cannot transmit love, it means the other does not matter to you. As long as for you everything is going well, whatever. Yeah, your problems are your problems. They are not my problems. Why should I be concerned about you not having a bag of meal in your house? That is your issue. You know. So if I don't feel compelled to share even the little that I have with you, then I cannot as well give you hope in your most vulnerable situation. So love is always the starting point.
Wow.
It's thinking.
It's actually.
I hope so.
I hope our viewers and listeners can actually get what Father is actually talking about, because without love, we're nothing.
No.
Yes, because just like Father said, like if my friend doesn't have meal in the house, if there's no love, I have 2 bags of meal actually. In this economy, I have 2 bags. My neighbor doesn't have any meal because I don't have love. I won't have that feeling to share. But if love is there, believe you me, even when you just have a little, like even in a plastic bag, meal in a plastic, you'll be able to share because there is indeed love in you, and love is the foundation of your life. That's what I think.
So you see, love has to be practical. Sometimes when you talk about love, but love has to be practical for it to have meaning.
Can we say that love is a verb? it is a doing word.
Yeah, it is. It is supposed to be a doing word.
Yes.
It is supposed to be a doing word, but many times it just remains a noun.
Yeah.
In most cases.
Wow.
Yeah. So it has to be practical. It has to be practical. And when we talk about the practicality side of love, it's not big things. It is very small things, very even insignificant things, even as simple as giving a glass of water to someone. Yeah, very very small things. You don't have to have so much for you to express love.
Or even a good morning to the neighbor.
Exactly. Even just a smile. You look at your friend, you smile. There's something you have transmitted to that person.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Father, how does experiencing love firsthand in Christian community deepen your sense of hope?
First of all, what is a Christian community? A Christian community is a group of believers in God who come together in order to share life together, to share joys, anxieties, sufferings, to share stories of their lives. They come together and make that community. In that community, there are different individuals. There are people who have gone through different things. Some people have had a bad background, others not so bad. Some have been to school, others have not been to school. So you have people of different characters, different colors. In fact, this brings me to the logo for the Pilgrims of Hope. Yes, you have those little human beings of different colors holding together. That is a Christian community. People of different backgrounds. And so they come together in order to share life. There's something that is bringing them together, regardless of them being different. There's something that is holding them together. It is Jesus. Jesus is at the center. So, a community, even of diverse cultures and all, is supposed to be a fountain of hope for individuals, especially those that are vulnerable. A community would have 1-2 people that are vulnerable, and everybody in that community should have the eyes to see who is in most need. You see, the church will always have this preferential option for the poor. Yeah, because those that are not as poor are already powerful, but the poor are vulnerable, are weak. They are the weakest members of so even at the community level, small community level, members, especially those in leadership, should have the eyes that see the poverty in their members and be moved by practical love, be moved to do something. When I belong to a community where I feel I have a place, where I feel I am accepted, that in itself is going to be a fountain of hope for me, because I know that even if the world throws stones at me out there, I'll go to that community where I'm going to be welcomed, where people are not going to look at the bad things that I've done, but they are going to say, don't worry, even this is going to pass. I'll feel. But if I come to a community and I feel I feel safer being out there than in the community, then there's something wrong with that Christian community. Sometimes it is, it is simple things. You go to a community where we are talking about a community of different people, people of different backgrounds, and all that. You go to a community,
no then
so slowly those that are not able to speak English because they feel out of place. And you see, some of these concepts we're talking about, some of you cannot understand. You need to have gone to university for you to understand these economics. Exactly.
So Father, then it becomes cardinal for leaders to embrace this theme and live this theme, Pilgrims of Hope,
Yeah.
so that they can assist the small Christian communities or even their groups where they belong, so that we can practically live the Jubilee year as Christians and specifically as Catholics?
I actually think a community starts with one person. It has to start with you. If you want to see a good community, if you want to congregate in a good community, it has to start with yourself. You need to have a pure heart on your personal level. Before you go out to these other people, you need to make sure that you check yourself to say, okay, what are the things that I'm going to contribute to this group? I believe to say a community starts with oneself.
Yeah.
Is that true? That's actually my opinion.
Well, as an individual, you're not yet a community, but you are a community in potence.
Yes.
You know, you are a potential community because you are a relational being. So whether you like it or not, you are going to be attached to somebody. Yes. So you will not walk through life alone. You are going to have relations with other people. You are going to create a community with others. So you are, as an individual, you are a community in the making, you know. And for you, it means that you don't think that you exist alone, and you don't do things as if you exist alone. And you don't approach other people or treat others as if the most important thing in this world is just you. Because you are a relational being. You don't exist alone. In a community where you have individuals that think that everything should revolve around them, that community, just a matter of time, it will crumble, it will fall. Because a community has to be a community. It has to take into account the different people that are there and accommodate everyone for that community to be strong. We do have characters who think nga baleta suggestion yo mfulimu wako nkabonzi gatamuyikonkere ninshi tabakeseko but life does not revolve around you. We are a community, and therefore we should have the ears to listen to everybody. We should have the eyes that see everybody in the community for that community to be a united community.
Indeed.
Right, but Father, I'm tempted to think that yes, it might be a bit easy for us to live, for instance, this theme at Christian community level, at church, at home. But when we go out as individuals to our workplaces, where we are found, how would you encourage us who have embraced this Jubilee, how we should live where we are found, especially Kunsto? For instance, in Mbomba breweries, Mbombo Kwaifi. Church, it's easy for me to live out this theme. But how do we now take it out?
Hope or the theme that we're talking about is supposed to be part and parcel of your life. It's because it's not a piece of cloth that you take off, that you leave home when you're going kunchito. Exactly. It is supposed to be part of you. There are certain values that are the same everywhere, regardless of where you are. When you talk about love is love everywhere. Hope is hope everywhere, whether you're a Christian or you are a Muslim or whatever. These concepts are the same everywhere. These are human concepts, if you like. So even if you go to a workplace, for example, where maybe you are the only Catholic, it should be very easy for you to live out these concepts, to demonstrate these concepts there, because they are not concepts that are alien to those people that you meet there. When you talk about hope, that person does not have to be Catholic for them to understand what hope is.
Hope is and love.
Exactly. So, in fact, as witnesses, in fact, the Pope talks about that in the book, that as witnesses of Christ, we go out to meet the world in different aspects, different environments. It is important for us to be actual witnesses. He says, be an actual witness, not just a witness, but an actual witness wherever you are. So when you go to a marketplace or a mall where you meet people, strangers, whatever, or an eating place, a restaurant where people, everybody is a stranger there, be an actual witness of Christ in that place, so that when people look at you, what they are looking at is a value that holds humanity together. And this can be expressed in simple things. For example, you are at a restaurant, okay, having a meal. You have those people that serve you, the waiters and waitresses. Those people are not perfect. Sometimes they'll make a mistake. How do you talk to them when they make a mistake? Of course, you have paid for that food, whatever.
Do you know who I am?
Exactly. Maybe pakumi saving amitilame. Twasabuka filia. Twasabukira page jacket then and you see people balasasuka. How can you talk? Where is your manager?
Yeah.
Blah blah blah.
Call your manager.
You see, it is in simple things like that. How do you talk to somebody who maybe steps on your toes, a stranger? Is it to tell them, do you know who I am, like she was saying? Or is it, no, don't worry, it's okay, these things happen. Yeah. So when you talk to them in a good way, they don't feel embarrassed, they don't feel insulted because they have made a mistake. You are already witnessing, you are already being an actual witness to that person who is a total stranger to you. So it is in simple things like that.
Father, from what you are saying, actually, in a situation where, like what you've explained, to say you are in a restaurant and then somebody just splashes you water, the waitress splashes you water, actually. Sometimes, just like you say, to say we need to be kind, because sometimes people might be going through something that is causing them to act in a certain way. And the way you react to what they have done will actually have an impact on their life.
Can make things worse.
Actually, they can make things worse and also brighten up their faces, because we don't know. Everybody is going through something nowadays. Yeah. That's what I have come to understand.
So be kind.
Let's be kind.
Please be kind.
Very important.
Just be kind.
Be kind. All right. Father, in what ways can we cultivate a deeper understanding of Christ and significance of Christ's love?
When you talk about the love of Christ, the Holy Father is saying you cannot talk about the love of Christ without the cross. And that is why Jesus dies on the cross with hands extended, because that is an expression of love, to humanity. So the starting point is the cross. Now, when we talk about the cross, many people don't want to hear the story of the cross, because the cross is a representation of bad things,
pain,
suffering,
rejection.
So not many people want to hear the story of the cross. Misalaba. Hawe na imwe. Akusende misalaba kabili.
Somadi.
Hawe choyo. Landen kofimbi musalaba na hiyo. You know, and when you listen to many preachers out there, the message that they are driving across is, you are not meant to suffer. The cross is not your portion. Say amen. The cross is not your portion. You are meant to thrive, to be happy, to prosper. You know, the gospel of prosperity. Yeah. But the truth of the matter is that you cannot divorce the cross from a Christian life. You cannot run away from the cross. You cannot be a person that is running away from suffering. You cannot. You should run away from trouble, but from suffering, it's
impossible. You can't,
because suffering is part of our life. You know, you will not walk through life without any element of suffering. It can be mental suffering, it can be physical suffering, any other form of suffering. That is your cross. That is our cross. So now, when we carry the cross, what gives us the strength for us to reach the destination? Look at Jesus when he's carrying the cross from the point that they give him that cross. If he falls how many times?
3 times.
Three times. When he falls the first time, at that point, he's supposed to say, this thing is too heavy.
Too heavy.
Please.
I'm just a younger.
Please, I don't want this thing anymore. He can say that, but he doesn't do that. It goes on and on. He falls the second time. At that point, in fact, he should say, please, take this thing out. Yeah. But doesn't do that. He carries, because, his focus is not what he is carrying. His focus is on the purpose. It is on why he is carrying what he is carrying, not what he is carrying and the weight of what he is carrying. Why am I carrying what I am carrying? You can ask the same question to, let's say, parents who have a problem child. A problem child. Some children, when they become a problem, they become a real problem. But you see this mother just carrying that problem child. And you ask them, why are you... Her focus is not the problem child. It is the purpose. Why am I carrying this child? This is my child. This is my mwana wande. So, and that is what is giving her, or giving that parent, the strength, the energy to carry that child. Jesus carries the cross regardless of the weight, despite the weight of the cross, regardless of how many times he falls, he carries, until at some point just somebody else decides on his behalf. Simon of Arimathea, it is not Jesus himself that says, itenikom guys, yesanga for a it is those soldiers, uyu tafike ku nani. Yeah. But Jesus still wants to reach Calvary, and he does reach Calvary, and everything is finished by Calvary. So when we talk about understanding love, the starting point is the cross. And when we carry our own crosses in our life, in our day-to-day life, we should always feel strengthened by the attitude of Christ towards his own cross. Jesus does not throw away the cross. You cannot go on preaching the gospel of prosperity. Ineba chongunga mwanje bati nchifwa kukuchula mayona tampo kuchula
kuwera
no, you see, our message should not to tell people that the cross is not meant for them. They should not carry the cross. Our message should be, you can carry the cross. You should carry the cross. But understand why you are carrying that cross. And the purpose for carrying that cross is what gives you strength to reach your destination. And that is what even the apostles themselves, when they went through persecution, did. They allowed themselves to be persecuted because there was a bigger picture beyond the persecution, and that is what gave them strength to do what they did up to the point of death. So when we talk about love, it is a big concept. It's a big concept, but a concept that is simplified in what happens on the cross. The cross will always be our source of hope. It will always be our anchor. Yes, from the logo.
Yeah.
Yes, the cross is always our anchor. I think we should continually make recourse to the logo, because it says a lot about what we are talking about. These human beings who are holding on to the cross, you cannot be divorced from the cross. Carry your cross. Sendeni musalaba wenu, ati senzani mtanda wanu, until the very end. Do not give up until the very end. Today we are talking about issues of mental health. Okay, people losing their minds because of the things that they are going through. People going into acute depression because of the things that they are going through. People rendering themselves vulnerable because of the terrible experiences that they are going through. Hope is the last thing to lose. Once you allow yourself to lose hope, you have lost yourself. You have lost everything. So you might go through a terrible thing, but make sure that you don't lose your hope for a better tomorrow. because that becomes your strength for you to continue moving on until you reach your destination.
Someone told me that you should only lose hope 4 days in the grave, because on the third day there's a chance that you can resurrect.
That's a good one. Yeah.
So never ever lose hope
until you spend 4
days.
Then you can say,
just like Jesus said, the end.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, indeed, hope should be the foundation of our lives, of everything that we do. Dear listeners and viewers, if you are just joining us on today's program, Pilgrim of Hope, a program that is here to help us understand the Jubilee year 2025 and why it is in place. This program actually, it is there to actually explain the document that was actually published by the Pope, which is Hope Does Not Disappoint. And I have always been practicing the Latin words, which is spes non confundit.
Yeah.
I have actually drawn so much interest in learning, wanting to learn Latin. Yes, I really want to learn it. I don't know if Father can actually do me the honor of.
Well, we can start some lessons.
Please, our God, glad
teach you what I know.
I appreciate, because this program, I believe it should at least impact you in a very, very positive way. You, our viewers, your friends, even your friends that actually don't have the opportunity to actually listen or watch this program, make sure they hear of it from you, our dear listeners and viewers, because this is a program that is here for everyone, not only Catholics, but everybody else. It's actually for the entire humanity. Let us spread the word. Father, taking this particular topic of the day into a more practical way, our today's topic is love, the root of hope. The love of Christ and our response. How can we respond to the Christ's love? How can we show to say indeed we are grateful for his love, for his sacrifice? How best can we actually express our gratitude to our Lord Jesus Christ for the sacrifice?
I think it is like rightly the Holy Father puts it in his document. It is by reaching out to one another, especially in our most critical moments, in our moments of crisis, that we can make this love, this hope practical by practically reaching out to one another. And that has everything to do with being concerned. Like earlier we were talking about having the eyes that see the brokenness in the life of another person, having the eyes that see the void, the emptiness in the life of another person. The suffering of your neighbor should be your concern also. You can't just say kabidi fiabwe naye nama offense bale panga abantu bakula chi offense so chale pana kuna chale chafika na kwalesa kuli, so that the neighbor does not bother you. Yeah, but there has to be a way to live a community life. Even if we have these offenses and the laser wires and all that, there should still be a way to live a normal life. I've been to some places, especially in Lusaka, where there's a funeral here. There's a funeral. Next door, there's a party. Yeah.
It's common.
Yeah. There's a funeral here. In the neighbor, there's a birthday party for their first daughter or firstborn daughter or firstborn son. Birthday party.
Is there love between those two?
I don't know. I don't want to be a judge, but there's something off about that
scenario.
Yeah, where you have a funeral here, just next door, you have a party for your daughter, birthday party. There's something off about that, and that's the kind of world that we are unfortunately creating. your problems are your problems. I have my own life. So if today is my birthday, I'm going to celebrate my birthday. If you are crying, fine. But that is your own life. That is your own problem. This is the kind of world that unfortunately we are creating.
I cannot take Panadol for your headache.
Yeah, exactly.
So sad.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about? We want to create a community of people that express concern for each other. That is the only way to live as a community. Your problem should be, in a way, my problem. In what sense? In the sense that if you don't have anything to eat and I have enough to eat, I should reach out so that we live a community life. I should reach out. If I have 2 pairs of shoes and you only have pata or ma bolingo ma bikironi, I should Sophia, I should reach out, say muntu wandi fwala kwa kalimbi tikakulinga. You know, that kind of, and that is the only way to make love practical, to make hope practical. It has to start with our attitude towards one another. Yeah.
Now, Father, how can this commandment, love your neighbor, how can you relate it, or how can you explain it in this context of hope, as pilgrims of hope?
Yeah. Love your neighbor.
Love your enemy.
Love your enemy. Yeah. That's the most difficult way to express love. Love your enemy, because ordinarily an enemy is someone who doesn't love you, I think. Tefio. An enemy is someone who doesn't express love towards you. Yeah. Someone who's hurting you, so they become your enemy. And Jesus says, love that very. That
in other words, an enemy is a person who never sees any good in you.
Yeah. And so they just want to hurt you. Jesus says, love that person. Yeah. How do you love that person? And how do you do this within the context of hope, like we are explaining? It is by not fighting back. Loving an enemy is not like, oh, you're my enemy. It's fine. Let us go and have a drink together. That enemy will be suspicious. No, Jesus does not mean that you go on a date with your enemy. Jesus is talking about do not fight back, because if you fight back, you just become like them. If you fight back, you cause more damage. So teach that person you consider as your enemy how not to be an enemy. So your attitude towards their enmity is what is going to convert them, is what is going to teach them how to be a friend instead of being an enemy. So it's not like in the literal sense. You don't take them out for a meal in order to express love. They will not come. They will not come with you, because they'll be suspicious.
Don't surprise them with
they'll just find something wrong with what you're doing, actually.
Anyway, how will you even sit at table and so it's not in that sense. So Jesus says, love your enemy, and even continues and says, speak well of them. Speak a word of blessing about them. Even if they curse you, don't curse them back, because you become just like them. But teach them how not to curse by speaking a word of blessing on their life.
Father, you are saying we are not supposed to take them out, but we can give arms to them as our enemies, or how is it supposed to be done? Because you might find a situation where somebody who doesn't like me, maybe doesn't have shoes. I have 2 pairs of shoes. I feel I need to share. How best can I do that? Because my enemy doesn't just see anything good. Maybe out of love, them they'll be thinking that you see, how best can we actually reach out to people that actually don't see any good in us, but they really need help?
You see, there's nothing wrong with reaching out to them. Even if they are your enemy, they've been saying things about you, they've been doing things to you and all that. There's nothing wrong with reaching out, giving them something that you think they need, or helping them. if they accept the help, well and good. Maybe that could even be the turning point of your relationship. Yeah. Some enemies might say, sinivifuna vimachitechi vako pamenevo pereke kwa meneo ndiwe ndani ona munga unganidia sewe iwe sungani sunge iwe nankani ya kula pamene hapo. You have such enemies. Others wala umfwenson kweno umuntu, this person have been saying these things about, but ampela kona nani kane wala. So if do your part. In short, do your part. Reach out. If your gesture is going to be accepted, well and good. If it is not accepted, it is not accepted. But do something that changes your relationship with that person.
Wow. That's a good one.
I hope our viewers and listeners are actually taking note of what Father is saying, because these are things that we need to apply in our day-to-day lives, in our daily routines, everything that we do every day. We wake up, we want to do the dishes in the house, we need to have love and hope, because actually these things are supposed to start from homes, Father. They have to start from home.
Charity begins at home.
Yes, it actually starts from home. You cannot say you get you go and take orphanage when your young sister doesn't have clothes. Definitely yes, because you first identify within your circle. Yes, because if at home they don't say you are good, then definitely you are not good. But sometimes but they still our dear listeners and viewers, if you are just joining us, we are actually discussing the love, the root of hope, the love of Christ, and our response. Father, your last words to our viewers on the topic of the day, as we wrap up.
Yeah, so love will always be the foundation of hope. Look at what happens on the cross. Jesus gives hope to humanity, because humanity is in suffering. Humanity is going through storms. So Jesus dies on the cross in order to give life back to humanity. And that is what we are supposed to do also at a personal level. We are supposed to die a little to ourselves in order to give life to those that are more vulnerable than ourselves. The Smoke-Sam community is supposed to be a place of love, a place where people can come and feel reanimated, not a place where they will come and feel judged even more, or they feel they don't belong there anymore, something like that. So when we talk about hope, love as the foundation of hope, it all goes to the cross and translated into the way we live our concrete life as individuals in our Smoke-Sam communities, but also elsewhere in other places where we meet people that we may consider as strangers.
Indeed. Steve?
Yes, I would like to thank Father for explaining things very well and simply, so that people like me can understand. Father, I would like to thank you. So our dear listeners, we hope, and viewers, we hope you have gotten one or two from today's topic. Make sure that you join us every Tuesday at 10 hours on both Radio Maria at Sun Voice and Lumen TV. And the theme for the Jubilee year 2025, Hope Does Not Disappoint, has spoken to me. So enjoy the rest of the programs. We're saying bye.
Indeed. On that note, this is the part that I don't like, because I feel like we need to go on and on. Where love is present, indeed, hope does not disappoint. From me and my co-host and our special guest, it is bye-bye. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.